I think I'd mentioned in an earlier video that the way I actually got started in this was I like to fool around with electronics. And as you can see, I've got some various power supplies, different meters, frequency meters, frequency counters, oscillators, oscilloscopes, and so forth. And I would use these breadboards and take little circuit boards and Arduino boards and so forth and experiment around. And I had very little time to do that when I was in the construction business. So what I did was, after I was finishing up my final jobs in the construction business, I set up this whole area up here with all of my electronic parts and everything. And someone had asked me in one of the comments what were in all these little drawers. Well, I'll give you a little clue. If you look, they have different types of parts, electronic parts, remotes. These are little circuit boards, various types used with Arduino boards. These are little infrared sensor boards. Just anything you can imagine. This is a microphone, audio sensor, well, an audio board that gives you different light outputs for different frequencies of sound. And then these are little, I'm not sure what that board is. Looks like a little sensor. This is a little, looks like a heat sensor. These are ultrasonic boards here. Just a whole variety of different types of things, from boards that are used for modulating signals for motor control, and just you name it. I collected a lot of these different circuit boards, a lot of resistors, all kinds of different wattage and different resistors, capacitors, everything from electrolytic to these are mostly electrolytic in here. And then we have integrated circuits, ICs, several different types of ICs, more ICs, and these are for connecting pneumatic controls. I've got a lot of these. I was planning on doing a lot of pneumatic control with Arduino boards, so I have all kinds of connectors for the different 2 and the 4mm and 6 and 8mm tubing, and I have the valves and so forth to go with that, as well as some several cylinders, small cylinders, pneumatic cylinders, so I can animate or automate different things. More of those little drawers with all kinds of electrical connectors in them. And this section here is mostly connectors. This one is LEDs, just hundreds of little different colored LEDs, LED holders and so forth. And then these are Arduino boards in here, different 2400s, different Arduino boards, and then over here looks like more LEDs, different types of LEDs. So there are drawers and resistors and components galore all over this place, and that was going to be my hobby, was fooling around with electronics. And so hopefully we'll be able to incorporate a lot more of the electronics into our upcoming 3D print projects. So that was what I was going to be doing, and somewhere in the process, in doing some of this tedious soldering and so forth, I came up with the idea of the helping hand. And obviously, if you're doing the helping hand, this was one of the first things I came up with was, well, if I had something that had power ports that could handle different attachments, so I could configure it different ways for different type of tasks that I would be doing electronically. And but I didn't have any way to make this part or any of the other parts that I envisioned. And not knowing very much about 3D printing, I looked into it, and within a couple of weeks I had ordered my first 3D printer and downloaded Autodesk 123D software and learned how to use it, drew a part, sliced it, got it into the printer, and bam, now here we are assembling these things, you know, hundreds of them, getting ready to launch sales of the helping hand, and shortly after that the lap diner, and then some other products that I've come up with. So what started out as one thing quickly shifted. I had no idea that I'd be doing 3D printing, but here we are. So if a 73-year-old man can do it, anybody can. If you've got an idea and you're thinking about 3D printing, go get a printer and knuckle down, buckle down, do it, do it, do it. When I get time, I'll be doing a lot more of this electronic experimenting around with different circuits. I used to like to take these breadboards and different boards and figure out how to make things do certain things. A lot of the products that I'll be selling on the website in the next few years will be things that have been sketched out on paper, ideas that I've had for different things that I can actually make using a combination of 3D printing and electronics, because I certainly have the electronic capability here, and fortunately the background in electronics to be able to experiment around and create and come up with different ideas there. And now that we've got 3D printing somewhat under control, I mean, I don't know a lot about 3D printing, but in the past year and a half I've learned a lot about 3D printing, and I've learned enough that if I need a particular part, I know how to design it, I know how to make it. And these King Room printers, I can't say enough about them. I've had them from the beginning. They're my main prototype guys. They're the guys I have here in the house. They're not large production printers, but prototyping, small production, and testing out different ideas, they're great for that. I love them, and I must have them tuned in pretty good, because every time I send a print job to one of these King Room printers, I have about a 99% success rate now that they will print the part the way I want. I'll come out with a good part, and I don't have I just don't have any problems. And I attribute that not only to the printer, I think they're a good quality printer, but also to the fact that I have printed hundreds of bad prints on these printers, and I've learned what made them bad. So once you've learned what works and what doesn't, then you can set these printers up, run your print jobs, and have just about 100% good quality prints every time you print.